Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a Snoopy Woodstock telephone, and this is John's telephone from Kentucky. And John just sent in the base of this telephone. And this is the final checkout video of this telephone. And so what had happened here is he didn't send in the upper half of this phone, Snoopy himself in Woodstock, and he did not send his handset in. So what we're going to do here is we're going to check this telephone with two different handsets. And that way there will be no issue of whether a handset will work with this telephone. And I can't check his out because I don't have it to check out. But I want to run kind of through what went on here. In the initial checkout, we showed where the bell was loose. And the bell was actually not loose at the bell itself. We had to take the bell out, and there's a couple of screws on the bottom of this bell that were actually loose and making the bell wobble. And so at first it looked like in the initial checkout it might be the bell itself, but it was loose from up underneath. Another issue that we had with this telephone was when we got further into it, we found out on this keypad, this telephone must have been dropped or something because we're going to go through this. The network was damaged, and on these keypads here, these manual keypads, what happens is there's a couple of coils here, and these coils basically are tunable, and I have them stabilized now. Like if these telephones are dropped with this type of keypad in them, these were pretty durable keypads, but when it comes to these two tunable coils, you've got a real problem because they're set at the factory, and if they're damaged in any way, they'll get out of tune, and you really can't tune these but one or two times. And even on the first try, a lot of times what happens is you break the graphite tuning deal. So, they're just very unstable. Other than that, this keypad was very durable, and they would last a long, long time. But if anything happens to these coils, you might as well just hang it up. You'd have to replace them, and the only way you're going to get any of these coils is out of another keypad that's been damaged real bad somewhere else. But this telephone must have taken some type of a hit or a fall of some sort, and maybe more than one. What we're going to do now is kind of get the keypad back into where it belongs. The other issue on this telephone was this is a network that was not polarity protected. And I'm going to go ahead and put the brackets back in after we finish up the video and stabilize the network. But this network was also damaged. There's a coil in here, and it's pretty heavy. And so what happens is, or a transformer, basically, and it has a lot of different connections. And what we had to do, since it was a little bit broke up, it's not uncommon to have to go into them and repair the little tiny trace lines where they come through into the keypad. And so we've got some trace wire here that we had where it got broke, where we had to refigure the traces. And then also we wanted to put a lot of hot glue inside there to kind of stabilize the network so it's not moving around. Because when we got this telephone, the network was moving all around, and that was because these brackets were not holding it down because it had been, it had taken some kind of fall. or a drop or something. And so now the other thing that we also did was it was missing the modular line port, and we installed and built, and I like to make my own bridge rectifiers. So now the bridge rectifier circuit is finished up. Also, the bell wasn't hooked up. I assume what probably happened to this modular line port was after something had happened to it, or it took a fall or a drop, the network wasn't responding properly, so someone probably tried to go into it and do some things to it, and it just got worse. And maybe that's how the line cord maybe it even got broken in the fall or something. But it looks to me like the telephone has been dropped or something to that effect. So we'll stabilize all this and get the wiring back into a normal situation and get it all wrapped up, and then wrap up his second bell leads. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do some final checks. And if this doesn't work out for John, my next suggestion is, if he's not real interested in original parts, the keypad front, we would go to an electronic keypad instead of a manual one. And, we can still locate the white ones most of the time. And then sometimes, the front can be changed on these. And go to a whole totally different board and go that route with it, kind of move it into the future a little bit, because these old keypads and networks and transmitter and receiver pull a lot of rent out of the line. And so with a newer style board, you would be changing the receiver capsule and the microphone, the transmitter, and the network, and we'd go to an electronic keypad. And that way, you just wouldn't be tying down the line with a lot of Ren that this older stuff uses. And this older original equipment is good stuff. It's just that these telephone companies are trying to cut back on a lot of their voltages, and they're sending out bare minimum a lot of times. And so it can run into problems with some of these older phones. And anyway, we're going to go ahead and do some checks. I'm going to go ahead and plug the line up into it. We want to check the ring. I'll let that go one more time since that was one of the issues. I'm going to give you some dial tone. And then I want to press a 2, and I want to transmit into the handset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you notice this red light on the analyzer, that's 100% modulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So now we're going to go ahead and swap over to a different handset, and that way that'll give you some idea that no matter what handset, as long as it's a Western Electric or something, an AT&T, something that has the older style transmitter and receiver in it, and it's wired properly inside, you would have no problem using it. Let me give you some dial tone. And we'll go ahead and press a 2 again, and I'll transmit into the handset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So we know this, and you can see the red light there with me tapping on it. Now we know that the handset's not going to be an issue as long as John's handset works properly. So we'll give you dial tone one more time. And we're going to go ahead and walk through our numbers here. And ending at 2. Now another thing on these older keypads, like I said, they were very good equipment, but the coils in this one have been damaged somewhat, and I tuned it and stabilized it as best I can. And on these older keypads like this, you know, I know people get real quick and they want to be real quick with their dialing, and that's fine when you're using a phone that's more electronic. This type of phone is a manual keypad, and since it has its tunable coils to create the frequency that it needs to dial out, you're better off not speed dialing with these type of telephones, just for the simple fact that they can get somewhat out of whack a little bit. So when you dial these, you know, you just want to make sure that you hit the keys nice and evenly, and you want to hit them long enough for it to create its tone. And I guess on some of them you could just like go as fast as you wanted. But, you know, these keypads do have some age on them now, and they're not going to work like they're brand new, and they never will. They're just not new. And, you know, they can get these little problems with the coils in them, the tunable coils and things like that. So best thing to do is just dial them with some precision, and it'll end in a 2 there. So anyway, now let's do this. Let's move the telephone line over into a regular telephone line, and we'll do some calling with it. That way you know it'll dial out. I'm going to go ahead and call my number, and it's going to be busy. And another number we want to call is like a time and temp.
Good morning. Need service for your car today? Call any of our service departments or make an appointment online at Offenburg.com. Today is Monday, September 19th. The time is 11:21. Current temperature 73 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area.
Cloudy today, then becoming partly sunny. A chance of showers, highs in the 70s. Cooler tonight, mostly clear, lows in the 50s. Mostly sunny Tuesday, highs around 80.
Okay. So another number, let's try, let's do a Walmart.
Thank you for calling Walmart.
See if they answer real quick. No, they haven't answered yet.
Thank you for calling Belleville Walmart. How may I help you?
Yeah, are you guys open today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. What's up? Oh, you are? Oh, I thought you guys opened late since you were open so late at night. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. All right. Bye now. Okay. We know Walmart's open. Let's do this. We'll call an 800 number.
Welcome to FedEx. In a few words, please tell me what you're calling about.
Okay, we're not going to go into the automated system, but we know it called the number that I wanted, FedEx. Now let's do this. Let's call my number again. And it'll be busy. And then we'll finish off with, we'll do time and temp.
Good morning. Credit issues? Apply by phone anytime at Same-day approval available. Today is Monday, September 19th. The time is 11:24. Current temperature 73 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area.
Cloudy today, then becoming partly sunny. A chance of showers, highs in the 70s. Cooler tonight, mostly clear, lows in the 50s. Mostly sunny Tuesday, highs around 80.
Okay, so we know this telephone is functioning and it's working. I want it to continually stay working for John. And so basically what's really going to happen here is we're just going to give this a try. I'm going to stabilize everything, put it all back together again. This is the final checkout. But we know that the telephone is working. And as long as you dial with some precision and everything, I think it's all going to be okay. Now, we can go to that other option where we put a different board in it, different microphone, different transmitter, go to an electronic keypad. We can still have the bell. And if that has to be done in the future, we'll do that. But at this point, with his original parts that are to the Snoopy telephone, then basically I think we're going to be probably okay. And it seems like it's working fine. But this gives you a look at John's telephone. He's got his name down here on a sticker, but I have his personal information wiped out there. And so anyway, we'll get the telephone all back together again and get some of these wires wrapped up and get the network remounted, and we'll kind of go from there. And I think it'll probably be okay. It's stabilized enough now to where I think it's going to work fine.